It's actually kind of strange because today is June 12th, 2024. And 2, maybe 3 days ago, I was actually making videos talking about something big happening on this day. And at the time, it was actually in reference to the outcome and the result of the CPI monthly, the Fed meeting, and what we would see happen to interest rates and how that would have an impact on everybody. But ironically, what I think really ended up happening today was far more substantial, especially considering if you live in Florida and you were hit with the deluge of 500-year, 1,000-year rain that caused flooding in Sarasota down to Miami. And it's insane. It's crazy. So I just find it kind of odd that there was a warning for June 12th being a warning of a potential stock market crash. But then June 12th came and we see unbelievable amounts of rain, flooding tied to climate change. And also we got the Russian military conducting exercises off the coast of Florida. Just kind of odd, kind of strange. But there's more. There's always more. And so people have problems. People have struggles. They have challenges that they face. And I think a lot of people are, it's interesting because I think a lot of people are going through these challenges and struggles and trials and tribulations right now. And they do tie in to their jobs and money and the economy and the stock market and real estate and interest rates and politics. But people handle it differently. They talk about it differently, or they choose not to. And so I came across this video of Mr. Kevin Spacey, for which I honestly thought he was in jail. I thought he was in jail. Maybe not. But he was on with Piers Morgan, uncensored, unfiltered, unrestricted. And he broke down. It seemed like he broke down. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Actually, if you haven't, let's take a look now.
Where'd you live now? Well, it's funny you asked that question, because this week, where I have been living in Baltimore, is being foreclosed on. My house is being sold at auction.
Really?
So I have to go back to Baltimore and put all my things in storage.
Really?
So the answer to that question is, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to live now, but I've been in Baltimore for since we started shooting House of Cards there.
So how long is that?
I moved there in 2012.
So this has been your home for 12 years?
Well, not this particular place, but this place has been my home and Evan and Lucy's home since 2016.
Why is it being foreclosed?
Because I can't pay the bills that I owe.
Are you facing bankruptcy?
Been a couple of times when I thought I was going to file, but we've managed to sort of dodge it, at least as of today.
How much money do you have?
None.
Really?
Well, I mean, you have some sense of legal bills.
Yeah.
I still owe a lot of legal bills that I have not been able to pay.
You're actually in debt?
Yes.
Do you mind me asking how much you owe?
It's considerable.
Millions?
Many millions, yes. The house itself is many millions.
What are you going to do?
Get back on the horse. Get back on the horse.
So what do you think about what he had to say? I don't really want to get into a situation of trying to debate on whether or not he's being honest and truthful, considering he is a professional actor. But let's just think about it. let's just think about it. Like, how many people are in a similar situation to where they used to have a lot of money or they used to make a lot of money, but now they're finding themselves in a situation where they have no money? None. Relative none. I think in the comment section, somebody said that Kevin Spacey's broke is the average person's rich. Maybe there's some truth to that. But I think also what's interesting and eye-opening is the fact that, granted, he was acquitted, the allegations theoretically ruined his life. Now, maybe the best part about it all is that he said he's going to get back on the horse. He's not going to give up, not going to quit. Will he get a shot? Will he get a chance? Can he bounce back? But what about the people who aren't Kevin Spacey? The people who are realizing that their homes are going to be foreclosed. They're facing foreclosure and bankruptcy, wage garnishment, repossession, eviction, homelessness. Very, very capable people, professionals in their own right, possibly, but just experiencing life and its many challenges, ups and downs. Which then, as I read here on the Hill, and it says, this is the last part of this article, it says, I'm talking about Kevin Spacey, this is one of his quotes. It says, I have caressed people. I have been gentle with them. That is the way I've been with people. That is the way that I am. You're making a pass at someone. You don't want to be aggressive. You want to be gentle. And you want to see if they're going to respond positively, is what Spacey said. So I think the word itself is not a word I associate with my experience. I guess this word is grope, or we'll see here what the word is. Yeah. The actor appeared to push back against Morgan's use of the word grope. I think we talked about this just the other day, right? Dating, swiping left, right, apps, letting AI do the work, do the dating for you, and then I thought about it. It's like it's almost like an arranged hookup, arranged marriage by way of AI. How crazy is that? Eventually, maybe that will be the future. I won't be here for that. I don't think so. Hopefully not. But at the end of the day, it's like, how can you create these relationships where what was normal in the past is now not, or deemed illegal or worthy of lawsuits, and quite possibly ruin your life and your career and your personal finances to the point of which you would end up like Kevin Spacey here. It's driving people away and apart. Like, it's almost like we've evolved to a point where natural relationships are going to die soon. And the only relationships that will exist are those that are seemingly unnatural. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail on what I would consider to be unnatural, but call me old-fashioned. Call me conservative. That's what I would consider to be a normal relationship. Yeah, normal. Which, granted, I guess if you go too far back and get too conservative and too old-fashioned, then the relationship that Michelle and I have would not be normal. But I'll draw the line there. Oh, man. It sucks to see somebody at a low, potentially at a low, a man cry. It sucks to see that. But maybe this could actually be motivation to others who see Kevin Spacey in this vulnerable, weak moment on national TV, man to man with Piers Morgan, and him say with tears in his eyes that he's not going to quit and he's going to get back on the horse. Maybe that's the most important takeaway from this. Maybe the other, as we read through the comments that people have shared in their opinions, which, hey, it's 2024. We're in the world, the era of opinionated comments and viewers. And there's millions of them, billions of them out there. But you just got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. And I will say that sometimes it's not easy, okay? And not because you don't want to, but because you can't just wake up and just snap your fingers and have your way, even if it's from the standpoint of freeing yourself of debt, because it takes time to make real estate transactions, okay? And from the standpoint of, well, just sell the house, get out from under that multi-million-dollar burden, maybe. And the crazy part about it is that if you had a home in, where was it, Baltimore, doesn't really matter what city it is. But if you had a home that you owned or were on the road to ownership with a mortgage, and it was within the range of the median household price or maybe lower end, then odds are, if it's in good condition and show worthy, you could list it, probably have it under contract and closed in 90 days. I would just say 90 to 120 days. But as the home value continues to creep up, it then creates a smaller pool of buyers, interested buyers. And when the buyer pool is reduced, in addition to a distressed state or distressed sale, instance of liquidity crisis and insolvency nightmare raining down on him, for which he's not going to be able to list his property and people not know it's his. He's the owner. They'll know his situation, his financial situation. They're going to more than likely take advantage of that. It just continues to make it harder to sell. And if you got a home in the multi-million-dollar range that you're trying to sell and unload in a distressed state, time is not on your side, because I'd be willing to bet you're going to go from 90 to 120 days to over a year, maybe if you're lucky, with extreme costs associated with listing and showing and open houses and multiple price reductions probably. Not to mention how much you may owe the bank, depending on, if you're upside down or not. And quite possibly in this particular situation, if there's any liens on the property, given Kevin Spacey's current situation. So I don't want to throw out a blanket statement of just get rid of it and move on, because we've actually kind of talked about this a little bit, even from the standpoint of cars. And if you're upside down in a car, which I think a lot of people are, you can't just sell it, because you have to pay the difference of the negative equity. You can't just trade it in, because you then have to roll over the difference of the negative equity, which would more than likely put you out of contention of getting a loan, because the banks don't want to lend in excess of the actual vehicle's value, which is inflated and will depreciate it immediately as soon as you drive it off the lot. So right now, I would say that despite whatever the Fed said and the Fed's going to do or not going to do with interest rates, I think that a lot of people are going to find themselves in a situation similar to Kevin Spacey, where they are financially strapped, cash strapped, and they're in debt, and the water's rising, and they want to cry. They just want to cry. But I would say for those people, just get back on the horse. Get back on the horse. And, buckle up, put a helmet on. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not just saying, again, you're not just going to wake up and snap your fingers. But if you want to solve the problem, you're going to have to really analyze and develop a plan and a strategy and execute on it. And then for everybody else, maybe just take a moment of brief consideration to think that maybe someone else out there is in a similar situation as Kevin Spacey, but maybe not to the degree and level of multi-millions and a tarnished reputation and increased challenges in a career that's seemingly dying, considering how Hollywood is playing out and everything. But Kevin Spacey could be anybody, not necessarily having been acquitted of sexual harassment and different charges like that, but just from the standpoint of, him by face, even if you don't, he looks professional. He's in a suit. He's on national TV. These are just things that people will see and assume, oh, you must be doing well. I see you here and I see this and I do. And You got to dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. But unfortunately, sometimes while doing that, it could potentially hide and disguise the true suffering that you are currently feeling, experiencing this devastation. And people are less likely to offer and lend a helping hand because it just doesn't seem like you need one. So I think, besides not giving up, not quitting, but more importantly, being honest and blunt when someone asks a question and you answer, such as Kevin Spacey did, is going to be the beginning of quite possibly solving this problem, or at least formulating a plan that could present a realistic solution. So we'll leave it at that. If you need help and someone asks, make sure that they know you need help. And if you see someone that you think might, maybe just ask and see what they say.